So, the Chainsaw Man movie just released quite recently, and I've just watched it. What did I think? It was good. I liked it. I don't think it was necessarily anything insane or masterpiece, but I definitely thought it was a good movie. I'm not a guy who's like into Chainsaw Man like that. It's not one of my favorite animes of all time, but I definitely think it's a good show. It's very fun and very rewatchable. I enjoy it every time I watch it, and when I was in the movie theater, I was enjoying watching the movie, like I thought I would. I've always seen people clowning on Chainsaw Man and misunderstanding Denji's character, like when you see him simping for girls like Makima or Reze, which is one of the main characters in this movie actually. He thinks very sexually about them, and that's how his mindset pretty much is, because it demonstrates how his whole life, like, he was tossed away, he was barely raised as a child, as it shows in episode 1 in the first season. And he's just also very, very immature, and it's because he's never really spoken properly to someone, and the whole thing about the show is, like, he has a job now, and he makes friends and people he can talk to about him, that make him feel emotions and happy to be around, and he's still living. Even in the finale of this movie, he explains how he lets Reze live because he doesn't care about killing her or putting her in prison. As long as he's treated well with what Denji infers in the movie is good food, it just expresses his humanity because of how he's been a sellout his whole life, besides a dog called Pushito who was by his side for a long time. I just wanted to talk a bit about this because, like I said, it really just baffles me when people say, oh, Denji's just a simp and he has no proper character, when that's just not true. And it clearly is people who have not watched the show. Denji going on dates with, like, first of all, Makima in the start of the film, watching a bunch of movies, movie hopping with her, and then going on a date with Reze, catching up with also all the characters and what they're doing right now. This entire section of the movie, like, which is roughly what I'd call the first half, is really good. It's more of like a slice of life aspect in the first act that I really, really enjoy, because I like slice of lives quite a lot, and I think they work really well in anime if they're done right, which this movie actually did pretty well, and it made me enjoy what I was seeing on screen. I actually might go ahead and make a hot take saying that the slice of life aspect, catching up on all the characters and what they're doing, which was like the first 40-50 minutes, was actually my favourite part of the film, because it made me engaged with the characters, setting up what was about to happen, and the whole next act, which was literally just pure action. And I won't even lie, Mappa cooked hard, because once Reze transforms Bongo, it goes crazy to where she's literally fighting every single character we've seen on screen, and the music and animation just looked incredible. I don't think it was as good as Demon Slayer's, but that's so slightly because they're both amazing, and they're pretty different styles of action in my opinion anyways, and it genuinely looked great, from whether that was Bongo chasing the car and then the explosions, or that was Mappa putting insane animation into Reze's clicks and Denji's chainsaws. Then with Denji and Beam's duo team up and Typhoon and Reze's team up, they literally all went out because the entire city is just in shambles basically. The buildings are crashing down and there's just weather being changed, and Beam is just, you know, going all the way into the weather tornado, and it's just some crazy action scene, and it's actually insane. I think the second half personally was pretty good still, but and I think what is a lot more, definitely what I think would probably be a lot more engaging for most people, because I think a lot of anime people just like action more than slice of life. But I preferred the first half, because I like the aspect that it took in the first half. But I understand why people would have liked the second half more, because it's very chaotic, and it's also in the sense that it's like very tense and enjoyable to see what's gonna happen next. It also then, like, after the act 2, after like the second act, it then comes to an end with Denji keeping Reze alive and showing his character development, then saying goodbye, thinking she would come back at the cafe the next day, and she actually does, which shows some hope, but Makima comes by and kills her. Also the angel, I forgot his name, helps that happen by slicing her basically, which is pretty sad ending, setting up what's to come into the next arc. And honestly, it's actually really exciting, I guess, for Chainsaw Man fans, and I guess people who just really like this show. I honestly didn't have much problems with this movie. I thought it was good. The only thing I want to know now is if they're going back to seasons, which I'd assume so, or are they sticking with movies? Since as I'm recording this, actually, this movie's hit around 100 million in the first 2 days, so I want to know if they're going back to seasons or they're just going to stick with movies. I'd probably assume they're going to go back to seasons, but I think the arcs now are longer than this one, and I'm excited because they're apparently meant to be longer and also better. So yeah, I don't know what's happening in the manga right now as well. I don't read manga like that. Like, I haven't got spoiled much. I know a bit about the manga. I haven't like spoiled myself fully. I know like some characters' deaths, and I think they're like doing like some parts now where, like, right now we're in the first part of Chainsaw Man and there's some second part happening. I don't know, it seems cool and I'm excited to see what happens next because there's better arcs that are yet to come, I've heard. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So I'm going to give the Chainsaw Man Reze movie a solid 7.5 or 7 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.